What can you say about Torun that hasn't been said before? Well, it all depends on how you look at it. At any rate, we're going to give it our best shot to be a little different. Torun is perhaps the prime example of Gothic architecture in the world. Its medieval quality is virtually pristine. And fitting this setting, it's also the birthplace of Nicholas Copernicus, who taught us that the Earth goes around the sun, and not the other way around. I'm not going to say that this is everything you always wanted to know about Torun, but were afraid to ask, but it's close to it. This is certainly a city not to be missed. It's a pleasure to be enjoyed slowly and deliberately. It would take a couple of weeks to see everything in this city and really soak in the atmosphere, and that would still be pushing it. But we are doing our dead level best to show you the greatest hits of Torun. So sit back and enjoy the next few episodes as Torun is unveiled before your eyes. I'm Will, this is Poland Daily Travel, and we love to see you watching. Like us on YouTube, and subscribe if you really, really like us. So join us for Poland Daily Travel does Torun. Hello folks, and welcome back to Poland Daily Travel. We are here. I'm standing with, of course we're here. Where else could we be? We couldn't be there, although, no, here's good. I'm here with Karolina Rucinska, my guide and our expert on Torun. What she doesn't know about Torun is not worth knowing, for sure. Behind us we have the St. Mary's Church and we have the planetarium. Interesting composition of this shot, folks. The planetarium, science, study of the heavenly bodies, and the church, the study of heaven and spiritual bodies. What say you, Karolina, to that?
No, I would say that's an interesting notion, actually. And that's true, because those two buildings are just next to each other. And this is the not only round building around here, because we also have another one, which is the prison, so which makes this part of the city pretty weird. That's
strange,
why we call it the Bermuda Triangle.
The Bermuda Triangle.
Exactly. So, but no worries, no one
church,
died here.
and prison, right? Science,
Yes,
church,
exactly.
and prison. Okay.
Yeah. So, but another.
But we don't disappear if we walk down the street. That's your point.
Hopefully not. I've crossed this path many times, and I'm still there.
You're
so.
still here?
Yeah, I'm still here. So
Okay.
hopefully this time doesn't happen.
It's not a figment of our imagination. Okay, you're still here. And what about St. Mary's Church?
This church is actually the second oldest church in Torun, and it was built 700 years ago by the Franciscans.
Okay.
And because the Franciscans is the order of beggars who cannot show money or wealth, that's why this church doesn't really have a bell tower. Only three.
Because St. Francis gave away, he was born rich, gave away everything.
To the poor.
Like Wittgenstein, he did the same. Wittgenstein, also born to a hugely wealthy Austrian family, gave everything away for philosophy. Another interesting composition. He gave it all, Wittgenstein gave it up for philosophy, and St. Francis gave it up for God and religion. Okay, and?
But we have some hypocrisy by the Franciscans, because on one hand there's the lack of the tower, but the other part of the church is really monumental, it's huge, so it makes up for the lack of the tower.
Okay.
In my opinion. So, and actually also the height of the church is amazing, because
it's a huge church.
It's a huge church, and until 15th century it used to be the highest church in this region of Europe. With 27 meters.
You mean in Central Europe, or?
Yeah, around this.
Yeah, okay.
Until 15th century.
Because it's very high. This is a Gothic structure. It's a prime example of Gothic structure, and it's magnificent vaulting ceiling, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Very typical for that time. The stellar ceilings that reminds us of sky, of heaven, of God.
Right.
At the same time.
Reaching up to heaven.
Exactly. So people could be closer to God as they believed, right? So that was the reason why the churches are so slender and so tall.
I'm glad they felt that way, because then if they hadn't felt that way and tried to,
we wouldn't have those churches.
We wouldn't have these beautiful
exactly.
buildings, which are some of the most remarkable buildings in the world. The Christian churches that were built throughout Europe and during the Middle Ages and into the Renaissance, right?
Yeah, that was driven by faith.
So, it was driven by faith, exactly. The importance of St. Mary's, how does it relate to St. John's, which is the cathedral, also extremely old? church. Which is older, St. Mary's or St. John's?
No, St. John's.
St. John's is older.
Cathedral is older. Yeah.
What year was that?
There is no precise year, like no precise date, but actually the church was started to be built just after the foundation of the city, more or less. So the first half of 13th century.
First half of the 13th century.
The presbytery of the cathedral is the oldest part, which is almost 800 years old. Yes, like as the city. So.
Okay. The city is about 800 years, you would say?
1233, that's the official date of the foundation, so more or less 800 years.
We were recently in a church in Czerwinsk, not Wisła, Czerwinsk on the Vistula, that is older than that. It's actually, the church was built, it's one of the oldest church buildings in Poland. It was some of the oldest stone masonry, and it's from about 1040. So it's even before the Norman conquest of Britain. Imagine, almost 1,000 years old. And so 800 years, sorry Torun. Sorry Torun, you're not impressing us. We've seen that. We've seen something older.
This is Gothic style. This is the oldest, the St. John's Cathedral, that's the oldest Gothic style. Because of course, before Gothic there was Romanism, yes? Romanesque style, so all that was constructed with stone.
I wasn't correct, I was just agreeing with you.
And then they moved to the brick. Yeah. So these are the best examples of the brick architecture in this.
It's the brick, as we were saying before. The Gothic is brick architecture, and it gives it that solidity, which allows it to last for so long. I mean, they were built to last forever. It's not stone, it's brick. It's carefully masoned and put together to last forever. And look how it still looks like it was built, 100 years ago or something.
It will probably be here for like a couple of
millennia.
Centuries, millennia.
As long as it's maintained, right?
Yeah. So medieval people could have this great technology.
What about the planetarium? What can we see there? It's right here.
The planetarium is actually the 19th century neo-Gothic building that was initially used as a gas container. A gas container for lighting up the lights, the city lights.
Oh, so it held the gas for the city lights of Torun. Okay.
Exactly. And then several years ago it was imaginatively changed into a planetarium. So this cupola right now on which you can just see the different shows about the stars and the planets and relax. So it's a really, really nice place. So if you're in Torun, you have to go there.
Yeah, it's a great place to go and visit. We can't really capture that with our cameras, but you know what a planetarium looks like, and that's a good one, right? How long has it been there? 10 years or? More than that?
Years, yeah.
Okay, for a while. Poland Daily Travel, stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break with me and with Carolina. Thanks for watching.